Hello everyone, welcome back to another Talk About It Tuesday. As always, my name is Hannah, my pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm the Education and Training Coordinator here at Whitman-Walker Health. Today we are going to talk about just some tips for managing being home for the holidays. For some people, the holidays can be a really great time for celebration and being with family. But for other people, having to spend more time than usual at home can be really difficult and can in fact be something that, maybe they're not looking so forward to. If you are someone whose family dynamic tends to be a little bit more hurtful to your mental health, a bit more difficult for you, I would like to give you some tools today that will allow you to help take care of yourself during that time and kind of, manage some of those negative interactions that may arise throughout the holidays. Visiting family, like I said before, can bring up, hello everyone, can bring up a lot of emotional triggers around, painful memories, violation of boundaries, any unrealistic expectations that, certain family members may put upon us as we're sitting around the kitchen table. And it's pretty common for a lot of people to experience this when they go home. So I don't want you to feel like this is something that you experience in isolation. A lot of people experience this. I think it is also just as common for us in those situations to just kind of sit back and take it. I think that the idea of, it's family, what are you going to do, is always in the back of our minds. We feel like we have to sit through really uncomfortable situations just because we're interacting with family, and I want you to know that that's not the case. You don't have to put up with, being mistreated from anyone in your life, least of all from your family, right? But it's important for you to learn to advocate for yourself and for your own well-being. And you can do this by setting boundaries and having honest conversations with your family about how you're feeling and, more importantly, how they're making you feel. And I know that all of that is much easier said than done, but that's why I'm here to, try and give you some tools for that. So the first step to try and, mitigate some of that holiday stress is to acknowledge your feelings, right? So acknowledge that it's normal to feel sadness or, some level of grief or anxiety over what's going on in your life, whether they be big or small. If they're making you feel these feelings, it is significant for you. It's okay to express those feelings, whether it be to yourself or those around you, whether you just need a good cry or a venting session with a close friend. Take time for yourself to do that. You can't force yourself to be happy just because it's the holidays. And I think a lot of folks fall into that trap, right? Like, it's a holiday season, I have to be full of cheer, and that's not the case. Everyone has things going on in their lives, and it's important to not neglect those tough feelings just because it's the holidays. My next bit of advice would be for you to reach out. If you're feeling lonely or isolated, seek out members of your community that make you feel safe and supported. And when I say your community, that can be any range of people. That can be friends, that can be, close coworkers if you have them. They can be members within your own religious organization or community groups that you're a part of. Surround yourself with people that make you feel good. And a part of that, for some people, not everyone, but a part of that can be, using your time towards something to help others, or just any task that will make you feel good, right? So some folks will volunteer their time doing something, that you enjoy with people you enjoy. It's a good way to lift your spirits and kind of get your mind off of things that may be contributing to you feeling negatively. My next bit of advice is to learn to say no, which is another one of those things that, again, is much easier said than done, which I understand. But saying yes when you should say no can leave you feeling really resentful and overwhelmed. And even though I'm talking about kind of managing feelings while you're at home over the holidays, this can also apply to work, right? Everyone's taking off, and sometimes work for you can really be piling up if you're someone that, in an attempt to avoid going home, maybe is, choosing to take less days off work. But that doesn't mean that you should be burdened with 2 times, 3 times, 4 times as much work as you normally would. That's only going to make those, negative feelings feel even worse if you're overwhelmed and unable to manage, the other things that are going on in your day-to-day. So it's really important for you to, figure out what your line is, how much you can handle, and if someone is pushing you past that line, make sure that you are able to say no. And while most people will understand you deciding that, you aren't able to participate in something, whether it's for work or at home, if there's any time that you feel, you can't get out of something, maybe consider removing other things from your plate so that you still have time for yourself, right? I don't want anyone to jeopardize, of course, like their livelihoods or their safety because they're trying to say no to someone. So really consider the situation you're in, and just remember that it's still important for you. If you have to say yes to some things, that you're still leaving that free time for you to feel well, to kind of ground yourself, do something to make you feel good. It's important to set aside that time. The next bit of advice would be to set your own personal boundaries. I think this is one of the biggest ones here. It may be easier said than done, but if there are conversations, different topics that are particularly stressful or unsettling for you or triggering for you that folks bring up over the holidays, try to have a conversation with them prior to those holiday gatherings about the topics that you want to be avoided this year. If you don't want family asking about relationships or children, or how school is going, how work is going, have those conversations ahead of time. Because ultimately, everyone wants to have a good holiday. Everyone wants to feel good. And so, hopefully these conversations that are being brought up, perhaps the people that are bringing them up don't know that it's upsetting you the way that it is. And all it will take is a simple conversation to let them know that it hurts you when they bring those things up. And your ask is that we avoid them this year so that everyone can have a great time. Okay? I encourage you to, again, make time for yourself, whether it's volunteering, whether it's finding an activity that you enjoy, just taking a break to be by yourself while you are at home. Even if it's just spending 15 minutes alone without distractions to refresh yourself enough to allow you to handle everything else that you need to do. Now, this could include like taking a walk. Maybe you have a sibling or, a cousin that you're comfortable with. If you need, more conversation, maybe you don't want to be alone, but still take that time to walk around the neighborhood, listen to music, read a few chapters of a book, meditate if that is something that you're interested in. Anything to just give you a quick reset in the middle of the holidays if all these other things fail and you just are really trying to push through and get through it. And lastly, I encourage you to seek professional help if all else fails and you just feel like no matter how hard you're trying, you just can't get on top of it. That is 100% okay, but it's important for us in those moments to seek out folks who are specially trained to give us the tools and resources we need to get through those really hard times. Therapists are equipped to give us the tools we need to take care of our mental health, especially during these trying times. They're better equipped than family and friends. You need those special tips, right? And sometimes you just need a way to get out if that is where you're at. And therapists are able to help as well. I encourage you to go back to some of our previous lives about taking care of your mental health, to see some of those resources if you do find yourself in crisis over the holidays, and reach out to some of those numbers if you're someone who doesn't have access to a therapist and really just need a mental health professional to talk to. The holidays can be really overwhelming and trying for a lot of us, and there's no reason for you to go through it alone if you don't have outside help. Don't feel ashamed to reach out. It's important. That was another quick one for us, you guys. So I just wanted to close out with saying that, I encourage you not to let the holidays become something that you dread. Instead, take steps now before, they're here in full force to prevent the stress and depression and anxiety that often come up during the holidays as much as you can mitigate those things. I know sometimes it's impossible, but we can do things to make them feel a bit more manageable. Learn to recognize your holiday triggers. What are the things that make you feel the most upset, the most anxious, the most overwhelmed? Are they topics talked about at the family table? Is it your job? Are they financial pressures or personal demands you have in your life? Is it something going on with your relationships, whether they're romantic or friendships? Really take time to consider those things and find ways that you can manage them better for yourself now, especially when kind of this holiday time is when all of those things kind of build upon each other more than the rest of the year. And I encourage you to do this so that you can kind of get on top of them before they build into something that's harder or impossible for you to manage. With a little planning and some positive thinking, you can really find peace and joy during the holidays, even when they feel really, really daunting. Okay? So that is all I have for you all today. I just wanted to give a couple of phone numbers out for us here at Whitman-Walker, so that if you are in need of anything, you can always reach out to us. As always, Whitman-Walker provides free HIV and STI testing by appointment only. So please, if you are interested in setting up an appointment with us, give us a call. Our number is 202-797-4439. And if you would like to set up a COVID testing appointment, we also have those available. That is so important before the holiday season. We are unfortunately still in this pandemic together, and it's up to us to work together to keep each other and our loved ones safe. So if you would like to set up a testing appointment, please call our appointment hotline at 202-745-7000. And as always, thank you for joining us. No, it is not only for DC residents. You can come and get tested. It is free. So please come if you would like to come. You do have to set up an appointment, so keep that in mind. Nothing we have right now is walk up or walk in, just for COVID safety. We can also offer free vaccinations for folks, including booster shots. So please reach out to us if you would like to do that. If you have questions about anything regarding COVID-19 testing or vaccines, we have another hotline for that. So for COVID-19 resources, please call 202-797-4439. That hotline is staffed by our community health team. You will be talking to a real person. If for whatever reason someone doesn't answer right away, leave us a voicemail. We will call you back. Again, for COVID-19 resources, please give us a call at 202-797-4439, and we are more than happy to help you with whatever you need. So I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of their week. Please join us tomorrow. We have another Ask a Tester Instagram Live with Monique. She's going to be doing another STD talk. I believe this week it'll be on chlamydia. So please, if you have any questions about that, please join in for our session tomorrow. I hope everyone has a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.